Let us reflect today about leadership. Leadership in the whole world, even from the time of creation, from time immemorial. You know, even Jesus' sons, all with looking very fit, handsome, tall, strong, but God told Samuel, none of those. He was going through calling each son one by one. God was rejecting until Samuel asked Jesus, this is the only son. He said,
What's that?
they actually finished. Oh, there's the last one is in the grazing the animals. That's the small one. He said, bring that one. And that's the one God chose, and he was anointed to be the king of Israel. Now, while I'm holding this leaflet here, I'm going to read it to you verbatim. How a true leader leading the people of God is supposed to be God abiding. He must be really following the instructions of God and worshiping God. It reads like this. Thanks be to God for his infinite goodness to me. May you have a most holy, healthy, happy Thanksgiving. This is about a leader in one of the countries in South America, as you are going to hear. Gabriel Garcia Moreno was a Catholic, a president, and a martyr. He valued his precious faith more than anything in his life. And in his youth, he formed a program of spirituality that he kept all the days of his life, in spite of the horrendous demands made upon his time and energies. He lived in times of violence and corruption, and is a wonderful ideal of father, husband, and a soldier of Jesus Christ. The continual realization of the greatness of God filled his soul with a sovereign contempt for earthly things, and hence his absolute disinterestedness. His joy at being able to give to the poor, the sick, the widows, and the orphans. His patience in trials was most edifying, and no complaint was ever heard to pass his lips. The rule of life he wrote in his own hand was kept until his death. 1. Every morning, when saying my prayers, I will ask especially for the virtue of humility. 2. Every day, I will hear Mass, say the Rosary, and read a chapter from the Imitation of Christ. 3. I will take care to keep myself as much as possible in the presence of God, especially in conversation, so as not to speak useless words. Before beginning any action, I will offer my heart to God. 4. I will say to myself continually, quote, I am worse than a demon and deserve hell, close quote. When I am tempted, I will ask myself, quote, what will you think of this in the hour of your last agony, close quote. 5. In my room, I will never sit to pray when I can do so on my knees or standing. I will practice little acts of humility, like kissing the ground, for example, and desire all kinds of humiliations, while taking care at the same time not to deserve them. I will rejoice when my actions of my person are abused and censored. 6. I will never speak of myself unless it be to own my defects or faults. 7. I will make every effort through the thought of Jesus and Mary to restrain my impatience and contradict my natural inclinations, striving to be patient and amiable even with the people who bore me. Never will I speak evil of my enemies. Every morning before beginning my work, I will write down what I have to do, being very careful to distribute my time well, to give myself only to useful and necessary business, and to continue with zeal and perseverance. I will scrupulously observe the laws of justice and truth, and have no intention in my actions save the greater glory of God. That was number 8. Number 9, I will make a particular examine twice a day on my exercise of different virtues, and a general examination every evening. I will go to confession every week. 10. I will avoid all familiarities, even the most innocent, as prudence requires. I will never pass more than an hour in any amusement, and in general, I never before 8 o'clock in the evening. Those who knew him bear witness to his scrupulous fidelity to this rule of life. No matter what the demands of office, home, or war obliged, he lived up to the rule. He never omitted any pious practice. In camp or on a hurried journey, he would kneel in some hut or a corner of the tent or in the woods and say the rosary with his aid or anyone else who was present. When it drew time for Holy Mass, he would often prepare the vestments for the priest and serve Mass. In the evening, surrounded by his family, servants, and ADCs, he would read night prayers, read from pious books, and express to all his love and confidence in God. The one ambition of his noble soul was the reign of God in the souls of men. He had a great and tender love for our Blessed Mother. He restored the shrine of the Lily of Quito. He would ask his people, visitors or works, "Do you have the Blessed Virgin Mary?" If they answered, "Oh, yes, with all our hearts," he would say, "Well then, my children, let us kneel down all together and pray her rosary, that we may persevere in loving and serving God." The Catholic Church universally applauds this president of Ecuador, Gabriel Garcia Moreno. Honor and glory to him who dared to say, a Catholic people cannot socially deny Jesus Christ. The secret society of Freemasonry seeks to unite itself with the devil to destroy the reign of Jesus Christ upon earth, to destroy Christianity. It is the great enemy. Their rage against Garcia Moreno was a universal, and all Freemasonic newspapers throughout the world held him up for execution, and he was solemnly condemned to death by their great council. At the opportune moment, the assassins attacked him, cutting off his arm and his hand and inflicting deadly wounds to his body. He was laid at the feet of Our Lady of the Seven Sorrows, where he expired. The body of Garcia Moreno was placed in a secretly and provisionally unknown grave in order to protect it from the risk of sacrilegious profanation. While we may not have the courage today to die for the faith, let us begin simply with the rule of life set out by Garcia Moreno in his youth, faithful to this rule with the strength of God. He will rise to the height of martyrdom if and when we are called, a little while longer and then eternity. This is a great saint in heaven, dear listeners.